Hey friends, welcome back. And more importantly, welcome to the final episode of my 5-star showdown. It has been building to this moment. I hope we're all ready. I hope we're all settled in with a snack and a drink because this is going to be a very exciting episode featuring 3 really great sounding books, all of which are 5-star predictions for me. 1 from myself, 1 from my Patreon, and 1 from YouTube. If you are in my Patreon, then we also have this bracket going on. And at the end of this video, we'll know who has won my 5-star showdown. Before we get into the books we're reading, let us revisit the point standings so that we are all on the same page of who needs to get what points in order to win. Our standings are as follows. I have 17.5 points, Patreon has 20.5 points, and YouTube has 21 points. Now really quick, at the end of the last episode, I gave one of the books 4.75 points, and I have decided to make that book 4.5 points instead of 4.75. So that's why YouTube has 21 instead of 21.25. In case you're wondering, I didn't want to like not address it, but we can move on from it now. So you guys here on YouTube still do have a little bit of an edge, but not by much. I think it's going to be a mad dash to the finish line. I'm holding out hope for myself, but I don't think that I'll win. Mostly because of how the very first episode went. We're not revisiting it right now, but I'm still bitter. Now that we're all on the same page of where we're at points wise, let me get the books that we're reading. We have YouTube's 5-star prediction, which is The Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Buehlman. My 5-star prediction for myself, which is A Time of Dread by John Gwynne. And then the book that we are starting with for this video, which is Patreon's pick. Basically a recommendation from the entirety of the greenhouse, because for a while this book kind of became a little hyperfixation for all of us. So I'm really excited to be reading also Bloom by Delia S. Dawson. I am about 20% into this one already, and oh my god, I love it. I love this. The little catchphrase says, "A sweet sapphic romance takes a deadly dark turn." We're following our 2 main characters, Rosemary, who goes by Ro, as well as Ash. Ash has a booth that sells like cupcakes, plants, and soap at the local farmer's market. And our main character, which for right now, the only person we're hearing from is Ro. She's kind of in a weird stage of her life, sort of feeling a little bit lonely, but she goes to this farmer's market and finds Ash's stall and becomes like completely and utterly like entranced with her. She previously thought that she was straight, and now she is questioning things. And again, I'm only like 20% in, but this writing is immaculate. It is so stunning. Literally the first page, let me just go to my highlights already. The way that Delia S. Dawson is just describing the scenery is enough to make me in love with the writing. It feels sort of like meandering and slow and very thoughtful. The book opens up with, "The modern world is severely lacking in magic, and those who crave it are at a constant disadvantage because they are desperate and it's in short supply." Adore that. Talking about our main character, Ro would like to be breezy, but she seems to swing between periods of dedicated, obsessive effort and sloth-like, stubborn inertia. I love the way that things are being described. Like, listen, she's talking about the soap that are at Ash's stall, and she says each bar she touches evokes moods. She imagines a homey kitchen with a pie in the oven, silver shears cutting a thorny stem dotted with dew, summer sun filtered through a butterfly's wing. Are you joking? Like, I love this writing. So far, the greenhouse is doing a phenomenal job because I wanted to stay up so late and read this book. But alas, I went to bed, and we are going to finish it today because it's very short. But before I did that, I needed to come tell you my initial thoughts and feelings because right now it feels so like whimsical and just like lovely, but I know it's a horror book and I know that it's going to take a deadly turn. What I'm expecting is for it to dive even deeper into like the obsession aspect, the thought that like cannibalism is sometimes used in like love and horror books because like you love something so much or someone so much that you just want to like eat them up. That's what I'm expecting. I have no idea if that's correct. I have not been spoiled for the book. So I literally I'm so excited to finish this book today. That's the plan. Clearly I'm still very cozy this morning. Haven't really done anything. I'm still finishing my coffee. I am actually going to take some photos for my Polaroid bookmarks that I send out with my new book club members for my Patreon because I have a good stack of new members this month, which is very exciting. So I'm going to put those together, put the bookmarks in there, the stickers that I send out, and hopefully get those in the mailbox before my mail lady comes. But while I do that, I'm gonna pop on the audio. I haven't listened to the audio yet. I just like purely read it last night, and then I'll come back and let you know what's going on.
Call me out, tiger. Call me out, why don't you laugh? lift me up higher.
Okay, let's chat. In the time that I was away, I worked out, showered, got groceries, and just finished Bloom by Delia S. Dawson. Guys, wow. That was so cheesy, me saying wow like that, but like that was so genuine. This is 5 stars. This is 5 stars. Holy shit. Yeah, no, that was really good. So this is a very short book. It's only like 200 pages, so it might be considered a novella. Regardless, and I have a history with little like horror novellas. Like Comfort Me with Apples is a book that I was really excited to read. The synopsis sounds right up my alley. I was really stoked about it. And it ended up being like a really just a 3-star book. Like it just didn't deliver what I thought it would. I was really let down. It was very predictable. This is exactly what I wanted from that book. So if you liked that book or were let down by that book, you would probably love this one, is my point of bringing that up, I guess. This went there. It did everything I wanted it to do. The writing was stunning. It got super unhinged. I liked that it was like a closed door romance. I think that if we delve even deeper into like their relationship, it would have taken me out of the story. It would have made me feel, I don't know, a little bit too scattered. So I liked that it was closed door. Okay, I was contemplating between a 4.5 and a 5. So I'm wondering what I'll feel like at the end of the video when we actually do the points. But like right now, realistically, it's between a 4.5 and a 5. I do think that like obviously it was kind of predictable like what was going on. However, what makes me kind of like not care about that is the fact that our narrator, our point of view, who she is as a person and being inside her mind, I appreciated every single like thought that we were given, every little bit of insight to her thought process and how she's viewing things, because I think that she is one of the most fleshed out and real characters that I've read in a long time. Like I think that Delia S. Dawson really like knows this character. Maybe not in real life, but I'm saying like she really spent time with this character in her head and knew exactly how she would act and respond in situations. And I just think that everything was so good. It was really good. And for 200 pages, like I was invested, and I think that I will think about this book for a very long time. So yeah, either 4.5 or a 5. I feel like it's a 5-star book. So good work, Greenhouse, good work. Specific shout out to Sarah in my Patreon, who really brought this book to all of us. So thank you, Sarah. What a great way to start this video. Man, it's gonna be hard to like change gears and go into a different book, but onto a different book we must go. And I am also very excited for this read as well. It's just a different vibe because it's fantasy. The other 2 books in this series or in this video are fantasy, and you might be thinking like why I paired them this way. And this last video was sort of like almost like a catch-all, like the 3 books that I really wanted to read from the 3 different categories. Because in the other episodes I definitely tried to put like genres together. I know Bloom is a little bit like not like these 2 others, but I also, it felt correct at the same time because Bloom, in my Patreon at least, has been such a heavy hitter. Like everyone's really been loving it. So I felt like it would at least be able to hold its weight against these 2 like thicker fantasies. And after reading it, I feel good about that decision because it 100% held its own, you know? Oof, that book was messed up. That book was messed up and I love it. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next book in this video, and I have to figure out who recommended me this book in particular, but the book in question is going to be Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Buehlman. I'm really excited to read this. It's been on my TBR for a while now, and every time that I bring it up, there's always someone in the comments telling me like how good it is or how much fun they had while reading it, and Brittany Reads Her Books in particular is who recommended this book to me on the 5-star prediction video. And when I saw a comment mention the Black Tongue Thief, I got very excited because I was like, oh, I want to try to do that for the series. So thank you, Brittany, for participating. I think I will like it too, but the question is just how much? Hi, hello. I've just made it to chapter 6, which is about page 50. And this is kind of exactly what I was expecting. I had a feeling just from reading the synopsis that this book was going to have some like humorous writing and not take itself too seriously. And that's exactly what it is. It's kind of going to be like a silly, goofy time. We have our two main characters. One of them is a knight and the other is a thief. The thief's name is Kinch, or Kinch na Shannah. And then the knight's name is Galva, though we don't know that quite yet within the story. And basically what's going to happen, or what is starting to happen, is that they have to team up because they have like common enemies. Because even though they might have like different goals, they have common enemies that will help them each get to their goal, you know? So these first 50 pages have just sort of been obviously setting the stage, getting to know a little bit about the world and the lore, giving us little like foreshadowing or hints of to the magic that is involved in this story, because it's fantasy, there is magic. Like Kinch has a ability that makes him lucky, or like know when a mark is going to have like something good in their purse, and that's the one that he should go steal, and he'll most likely know if he's going to like get away with it, that sort of thing. But obviously that's just scratching at the surface. I'm excited to keep going and see what else is involved. Humorous writing in books is typically like a hit or miss for me, so this could go really well or it could be just like okay. So far I'm enjoying it, like don't get me wrong. I'm sort of just going to continue it in the mindset that I'm just here for like a silly, goofy, good time, and I hope that in turn I really enjoy the story. So yeah, Caleb should be home soon. I want to read quite a bit more today because I'm trying to finish this video over the next couple days, but I definitely wanted to come on and just let you know some initial thoughts. So I, no lie, am continuously thinking about Bloom though. I can't get that book out of my head.
Fall deep within. Don't leave me hanging just 'cause I'm too proud. Whisper words.
Hello, good morning. When I turned on my camera and looked in the viewfinder, I had forgotten that I dyed my hair. That was alarming. Hi. Man, I have some bad news. And I don't really know what to do about it. I've made it to page 175, which is basically halfway, and man, I'm so bored. And I know it's not because I'm coming off of a 5-star read, even though, well, I'll say I don't think that that's helping, but the thing is about the Black Tongue Thief is not the characters, because I really am enjoying the characters, but the actual writing and storytelling is not for me. And I just like can't even fathom sitting through this many more pages reading this book. How the story is being told is very much of like a recollection or like a log of everything that went on. Like he's just explaining everything, and there's very little dialogue, and I don't like it. Like I just read a scene with a kraken. So cool, very fun, right? Should be. I was still getting distracted from literally anything else that's around me. That shouldn't be the case. Like during the action scenes, during the scenes that, you know, I'm like most excited to read with like the monsters and the fantasy battles, like I should be on the edge of my seat. I should be ripping the pages to turn them faster, you know? No, like the way that it's told is so like methodical and not exciting. I hope that that is making sense. I can see why people might like this, and I'm not saying that it's bad because it's well written. I just prefer different modes of storytelling, you know? Like it feels almost retrospective, which I think can be done in a way that's exciting. But this is more so like I can tell that the writing just like isn't taking itself seriously, which is fine. But again, you can do that while, I don't know, making things exciting. It just feels so one note, and I'm upset. I'm upset about it because if this wasn't for a video, I would probably DNF it. And I feel like something's like wrong with me since I am not loving this. And I've heard nothing but great things about this book. So I feel like it's me. Like, what's wrong with me? To make everything fair, like I have to finish it. But at what cost? I've been up since like 6:30 this morning and I did not sleep well last night. And it is about 10 a.m. now. I think, oh, what do I think? I might make some breakfast and continue to plug away, I guess. Man, this is upsetting. I'm hoping, so okay, here's the thing. Let me try to change my perspective because I am interested in a few number of things regarding the story. There's our main character and there's some like assassin, which none of this is spoilers. I won't explain anything, but some tropes that are going on, right? There's an animal companion, there's an assassin, there's a thief, there's a knight, and there's a witch. Like literally it has so many things that I like, okay? That's what's making this hard for me, is because like this is another book that like on paper, like I like it. But I do stand by the fact that like I don't like the way that Christopher Buehlman is telling the story. However, maybe I can, during this next little like reading sprint that I'm doing for myself, I'll try to focus less on the actual writing and just focus on like the characters. Maybe that might help because I do want to see where it goes, I guess. So let me make some breakfast, continue to read, but like I'm actively changing my mindset. I am gaslighting myself into thinking that I'm liking this book. And we'll see if that helps.
Somebody do me the courtesy, dress me down. I'm not that old yet, I'm far too young to not stand my ground. Well, my ways are mine and I don't wanna change, not even for love. Now take back all them hard words. I'm a grown woman with confidence and sense. In the middle, meet me in the middle. I'm a riddle, figure me out.
Hi, hello. It is about 3 p.m. and I have just finished The Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Buehlman. And unfortunately, it still is the exact same situation. This just wasn't writing that I enjoy. For whatever reason, this just didn't work for me. Ultimately, like I've said before, I just didn't like the method or way he went about telling his story, which is obviously just a personal preference. I did get attached to some of the characters. The last like 50 pages or so did get kind of exciting, but a lot of the plot in the middle, I mean, a lot of the plot throughout the whole book was just sort of like meandery to me. And that paired with the sort of like humorous style of writing, it just didn't work for me. Now, I want to say there is a similar book to The Black Tongue Thief that I have read and did enjoy, and that is Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. I feel like this is a very similar vibe to The Black Tongue Thief. In fact, if you liked one, you definitely, I think, would like the other. But for whatever reason, the way Nicholas Eames wrote this book, even though it did have those like little humorous bits, really worked for me because these guys were so funny and they were so well thought out, and it was set up in a way where like I really was rooting for them and I really cared about what was going to happen. But for whatever reason, I just didn't connect with these characters in the same way. And I don't know what else to say. I will say actually that I really love that Christopher Buehlman is the narrator for the audiobook. I think that was special and I did enjoy that. I also just found out the blind cat in the book is actually sort of based on a real cat, and here he is. Oh my goodness. Not you making me rethink my rating. But I say all of that to say I still don't think that it's a bad book. I did like the story. I like a lot of the elements. I just didn't like how it was told. So my reading experience was not great. I probably would have DNF'd it if it weren't for this video. Just because, you know, life is short. Why read a book that you're not really enjoying, right? But for the video, I continued, I finished. But as you could imagine, this is just going to be a solid like 3 stars for me. I think it does have merit and I think there is an audience for it. It's just not me. And that is okay, I hope. But that being said, we can go on into the last book of this video and the last book of this series. Why did my heart just like flutter? I feel like we've been doing this series for a while now and it's a little bit bittersweet, but let's grab A Time of Dread by John Gwynne.
Hachette Audio presents A Time of Dread, written by John Gwynne, read by Damien Lynch. But on a lonesome road doth walk in fear and dread, and having once turned round walks on, and turns no more his head, because he knows a frightful fiend doth close behind him tread.
So true.
Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Ah, I'm so excited.
Extract.
Close your eyes, get some rest. I'm by your side. Lay your head on my chest. I know you've had okay. But I'm right here, it's gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade too.
Hello, good morning. It's officially jean jacket weather. I simply could not be happier. And I am now 100 pages into A Time of Dread by John Gwynne. And again, I just simply could not be happier. The moment that I opened the book and on page 1, Corbin is mentioned. Corbin is from the first series. If you didn't know, I don't know if I explained this. If I did, you're gonna have to bear with me for just a moment. But A Time of Dread is a series by John Gwynne that takes place 100 years after a previous series that he wrote, which is The Faithful and the Fallen, which is these 4 books: Malice, Valor, Ruin, Wrath. This series right here is my favorite series. I consider it my favorite series of all time as of right now. And this is the series, it's a trilogy that takes place 100 years after the events that took place in these 4 books. And Corbin is just one of the main characters, and he's my sweet baby boy. I would protect him at all costs. And I don't really see a lot of people talking about this book in particular, or this series, I should say. And I'm not sure if that's, oh, you're on my espresso machine and it's currently heating up. Hold on, it'll stop in a moment. In the meantime, enjoy some flops. It's a great paperback. Wow. Why? Okay, anyways. I really haven't seen anyone talk about this series, and I don't know if it is because people haven't read it or people don't like it or what, I don't know. And I think that this series does have the possibility of it just sort of being like the events from the previous series just kind of like rehashed and going about again, but in a slightly different way. And I could see why certain readers like wouldn't want to relive a series that they already read, or would think that it would just be sort of redundant or annoying. And I understand that, and I'm not saying that that is what this is, because I have no idea yet. But I'm here to tell you that even if that is the case, I can't wait. This is like the best case scenario, because, you know, like after you finish a series that you absolutely love, you want something just like it, or you want something that makes you feel like almost the same way. And I genuinely think that this is going to do that for me. So currently 100 pages in, we are meeting obviously all new characters. It's 100 years later. So the humans in here are not immortal. So a lot of the people that we followed in the first series are obviously dead, but some of the creatures, like some of the fantasy beings, like giants or the evil Catashim or the Benalim, all of these things don't make sense to you if you don't know what it is, but these basically fallen angels or like demons sort of things are still here. And I'm slowly starting to learn the situation at hand. In the original series, it was very much just like good versus evil, choose a side, chosen one trope, and found family, and just like war, battle. And if you like literally any of those things, I need you to read The Faithful and the Fallen series, or literally anything by John Gwynne, because I'm learning that I just love him. I love his writing. I love how he tells stories. I love how he creates his characters. I am just so excited. I literally was like getting giddy. I got the zoomies before bed last night because Caleb was like asking me like, how do you feel about the book? And I was like, oh my God, I thought you'd never ask. And I literally like sat up in bed a little bit and turned to him and I was like, okay, so, and I was so excited. I just am living my best life right now. Just played Stardew Valley for a little bit. I'm about to make a coffee. Caleb's at work. Avi and I are about to sit on the porch while I read for a few hours before I do sprints with my patrons at 2. Also, if you don't know this about me, I don't know why you would. Only my Patreon knows. But I'm currently obsessed with like mechanical keyboards, just like a creamy, thocky sounding keyboard. Like if you don't know what that is and that sounds so crazy to you, look up creamy sounding keyboard. And I promise you, I can't promise you, some people don't like it, but like I literally am so obsessed with the sound, and I have since purchased 2 keyboards in the last month. One of them is a creamy sounding keyboard, one of them is like a deep thocky sounding keyboard. And again, I tried to explain this to Caleb last night. He goes, wow, you are such a nerd. And I was like, yeah, you're not wrong, I guess. But one of them gets delivered today and I am like beyond excited, and it's yellow, and I'm just slowly starting to build out that little like writing nook in my library where I colored yesterday. So I'm just really excited to start setting that up and unbox that keyboard. Oh my God. But with that being said, lots of exciting things happening today. I feel great. I'm going to make this coffee and we're gonna go sit on the porch and read for a bit.
We're gonna be okay. Calm your soul. Hold my hand.
My keyboard got here like hours early. It said it was going to be here between like 4 and 6 and it got here at 1. So I'm really excited. Over the next few days, I should be getting like quite a few things that I got for my little like writing nook thing. This one is just a simple little like extension cord with like a very low profile outlet plug because the nook itself doesn't have like a power supply, but there's an outlet right outside the room. So I'm just gonna like snake in a little extension cord. This, oh, I have to assemble it. This is basically just a stand for my MacBook. Since it is a smaller desk, I needed to elevate my MacBook so that I could like have room to do things on it, you know? But basically it's just a little stand that the computer is just gonna sit on top. So that'll be nice. So I will assemble this soon, but I want to open my keyboard. Wow, I'm so excited. I didn't bring scissors or anything. Let's see if like sheer will can get this open. Nope. I need to get a new battery for my camera anyway, so 1 second. Okay. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, so this is an EvoWorks keyboard. I think it's the EVO 80. I feel like I should be filming a reel as well. Okay, wait, I haven't pressed a key yet. Okay, let's try it. Oh my god. Shut up. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Shut up! Literally gonna cry. It's literally even better than I was hoping. Okay. I'm literally never leaving this little corner and I'm always gonna be, shut up, that's amazing. So this is the Butter Yellow Evo 80. They have many colors. I was deciding between the pink, the yellow, and the blue, but here, let me show you. Wow, what a time to be alive. Look at what I got, because I also got this keyboard. I know, like, if you're not here for this, I'm sorry, but this is part of it. But I also got different keycaps to switch out on this keyboard that I got, because I love this green and sort of like off-white, but I also got these pink keycaps to switch out on the green one if I wanted to do pink, because I just love how it kind of reminds me of Kirby. And look at how cute, like, the backspace key is. Like, they're like little samurai swords. I'm obsessed. I love them so much. And there's even more like special keys underneath these keys, but we'll get into that a different time because I have to start reading sprints in like 10 minutes. God, I don't think you get it. I'm never gonna shut up about this. I'm never gonna shut up. This might be the prettiest angle I have ever filmed from ever. This is stunning. Should we take a thumbnail? You know how one side of your face always looks better than the other? Why is that? That's crazy. Okay, how beautiful is this right now? I wanted to just let you know that I haven't read at all. And I really needed to be reading because I need to finish this vlog by tomorrow because this is supposed to be this Sunday's video. That was the plan. And it still tentatively is the plan. Very strongly tentatively. I don't know if you expected me to not learn all about my keyboard or not, but like here it is. It's so beautiful. I wasn't gonna not play with it all day. It truly just makes me want to type and write, and that's exciting. So whatever, here we are. But we're doing sprints with my patrons, and I'm gonna walk Avi here in a minute and then actually start reading again for the evening. Because I expected to be at least halfway done with the book by now, and I'm definitely still only like 115 pages in. It is reading very quickly. I do think I could finish by tomorrow, but I need to start focusing. So that was a fun little intermission for me, at least. The last few hours have been, you know, setting this up, connecting it, swapping keys so that it is is working correctly with my MacBook, and you know, it's working. It's happening, and I'm so excited. I have many other things coming for my desk. Like I have a little cloud wrist rest coming. I have a mat that I ordered from Etsy that I'm really excited about. And now, after talking with my patrons, I might order a monitor and then connect my Mac to it, but use the monitor instead of like the setup that we have with like the computer just like on a riser, because it's a smaller desk, so we need to like use as much of the space as possible. So yeah, I think I might be doing that as well, which is exciting. But okay, I need to go focus. I'm gonna walk Avi, get some reading in, and I'll come back a little bit later. I stayed up pretty late reading, so therefore Caleb drank most of the coffee this morning because I slept in a little. So I'm gonna make another pot because I need more than just 1 cup of coffee in the morning. But the book is going really, really well. Like, I love John Gwynn's writing so much that I feel like there's something wrong with me. Like, in a sense that I don't know if it's fair to put a John Gwynn book up against anyone at this point. And I didn't necessarily know that going into this episode because I knew that I would enjoy it. Like, you know, I was excited to read from John Gwynn again, but I wasn't sure if it was going to just be a thing where I really just liked The Faithful and the Fallen because I love those characters particularly. But I honestly, like, I just love the guy. And I think that he's a great writer. I really do. So it's going really well. It's very rare that I like stay up late and read anymore because I really like to wake up early and read while the sun is rising. Like I find that really relaxing and I just kind of love it. But why did I do that? Damn it. I wanted to just make a half pot of coffee, but I'm making a full pot of coffee apparently. Like I can't take the water out of the reservoir now. Look, now that the water's in there, I can't take it out. So I guess we're making a full pot of coffee. And that means I have to grind more beans. I'm so tired. We weigh our coffee. We're kind of annoying about our coffee. It's like we can drink bad coffee. We just appreciate good coffee. We're those types of people. If I have the choice, yeah, I'm gonna choose good coffee every time. But yeah, hi, good morning. Yesterday, if I didn't get my keyboard, I would be done with this book for sure. But honestly, I cannot wait to edit this video using that keyboard. I'm literally so excited. I've never been this excited to edit anything in my entire life. So that being said, we got coffee brewing. Sammy's ready for me on the couch. I'm just gonna sit and read. I do have more thoughts on the book, but I will compile them in the final review, so stay tuned. I think I could finish this book in a few hours, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm unwell. I just finished A Time of Dread by John Gwynn. I just have a feeling that I'll be adding the rest of this series to my fall TBR actively. Consider this your notification. This is a very good first book in a series. It very much feels like the first book in a trilogy because I have so many questions. There's a lot of like little things as well as big plot points that are dropped into the plot and not completely explained, or things that are acted on, but we don't know why they even started in the first place, or we don't know anything. Everything that I thought I knew up until the last 100 pages got completely flipped on its head. Every single thing. And simply put, the only way forward is to pick up the second book. So that's probably what I'm going to do, honestly. I read this so quickly. The book is like pretty large and the text is relatively big. I mean, it's definitely not like Way of Kings small, not that sort of thing. And it just reads very quickly. It's very much one of those books where it's like, oh, just one more chapter, because it's multi-point of view and you're just really wanting to whip through and get back to certain characters to see what's going on, because pretty much every chapter will leave off on some sort of cliffhanger or some sort of question that you now have. But that's with every point of view. So every point of view has been very interesting to me. Of course, some more than others, but certain characters like Drem, his point of view from the beginning to the end, like he had so much character development, and I think that it's interesting being in this world 100 years later and seeing how things have progressed since that first battle that took place, many battles that took place in that first series, The Faithful and the Fallen. It's really interesting and a lot of fun and pretty dark, by the way. It's not like grim dark, which is a specific term used in fantasy. It's not like apparently grim dark, but it is a darker fantasy. So there are some like really spooky parts actually that I was like, ugh. Some visuals that I keep thinking about. But yeah, I feel like this is a strong 4.5 for me. Like in my heart, maybe it's a 5 just because of the nostalgia and like I love his writing. I love this world particularly. It feels so fun and good to be back in this world, in the Banished Lands. And I know that some of my confusion, most of my confusion, are things that like will be answered in the further series. I don't really know why I wouldn't give it 5 stars though. Like I don't have a reason. Sometimes it's just a feeling, you know? And I mean, it kind of is 5 stars, but there's something in the back of my head holding me back. So I think I'll give it 4.5, and I feel okay with that, mostly. So now let's recap this video. My choice was A Time of Dread. I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. Black Tongue Thief is YouTube's choice for this video, and I'm going to give this 3 stars. And then Patreon's pick was Bloom by Delia S. Dawson, and I am giving this 5 stars. Oh my God. Like, here's the thing. Now we have to choose a winner. Okay, but first let's do points. Okay. Wow. Wait, this is so crazy. This is the end of the series. These are the final points of my 5-star showdown. Are you guys ready to figure out who won? If you've been keeping track closely, you might know already, but all right. So recap, before now, the points were as follows. I had 17.5 points, Patreon had 20.5 points, and YouTube had 21 points. So now taking into consideration all the points that we got from this episode's books, the final episode, the final ranking is... I, Sydney, have 22 points, Patreon has 25.5 points, and YouTube has 24 points. So that being said, the Greenhouse, my Patreon, is the winner of the 5-star showdown. Congratulations, Greenhouse. You did it. I'm so proud of you. What an absolute journey it's been. And now the very final thing we have to do, even though we already have a winner, there is a bracket that I've been doing alongside my Patreon, and this will determine which book wins overall. Which of these, however many books, how many episodes is this? 6 episodes, 3 books each, so 18 books. Out of all 18 of the books that I've read for this series, which one reigns supreme? That will be an exclusive video for my Patreon since it is a bracket for my Patreon. But the final matchup was these 3 books, and I, of course, am sort of torn between Bloom and A Time of Dread. My heart feels wrong not choosing John Gwynne to win. Man, it feels really wrong. I know that it's not the Black Tongue Thief. We all know that, but it really is a toss-up between these two. And I had this thought while I was reading the last like 200 pages of this book. I had to pause the audiobook because I was like, oh my God, which one am I gonna choose? And I just had a whole conniption about it. But now here we are, I actually have to choose now. I think I know which one it has to be. I think I know. And you guys are probably like, Sydney, one of them was a 5, one of them was a 4.5. Like, it's obvious, but it's not obvious. It's okay, it's not. Because John Gwynne, this whole world, the Banished Lands, literally has my heart and soul. But this writing and these plot twists and these characters, this setting, this atmosphere, I have to choose Bloom. Bloom is my favorite of this video. 100%. I have to do it. Very, very close runner-up though. Absolutely. But I honestly, this is so surprising to me. I thought for sure, even though I loved this one, I thought for sure I would still be choosing A Time of Dread. And I'm sure many of us thought that I would be choosing A Time of Dread. That might be the biggest upset of this whole series. But I have to choose Bloom. That's wild. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Okay. So now I will be going upstairs and I will be filming the final bracket summary and pitting those books against each other. That's all going down over in the Greenhouse very soon. But that concludes the 5-star showdown here on YouTube. Thank you so much to everyone who has been following along, participating. If you want to see how we got here and this is your first video that you've seen from this series, I'll leave the link to the playlist down below. Regardless, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. If you are still here, this is important. Which book out of the final 6, I want to know what you think that my favorite of these 6 final books in this bracket would be. I'm just curious, just for science. Let me know what you think I would choose based on the past 6 vlogs of this series. But if you don't know what else to say and are still here, leave me the cupcake emoji down below in the comments. And while you're down there, please do subscribe and like the video. I always appreciate your support. And of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. Bye.